Alright, back again with another one. I feel like a lot of changes are happening and feels really, really weird. And what I mean by changes is, the more that I integrate this new schedule, I kind of tweaked it a little bit where I'm waking up when my first alarm goes off at 3:30, and then the one that I usually try to get up on is at the 4 a.m. one. But that makes a whole, it makes a big difference when it comes to, making sure that I'm up, doing what I need to do while everybody's still asleep. And, it just makes it more efficient where I got everything I need to get done. Now I'm out here recording this video or this voiceover or whatever you want to call it as scheduled. This has been a very interesting week. My cycle just ended, but it's just been it's been like very, very interesting where things are breaking, technological glitches. And speaking of technological glitches, this week when I went to go do my final project for Humanities 102, the Microsoft Word just exited out, and I had all that work, all that typing and stuff, answering the questions thoroughly, and it's like, bruh, for it to just go out like that and like having to restart it all over again, that shit, I ain't gonna lie, that shit had me hot. I ain't gonna lie, I was heated. I had to stop, go outside, and like smoke a blunt. Like thankfully, it was just that one assignment, putting all the pieces of the project together to submit for the final draft, but I still had to go back at, the parts of the project where I got like a B+ or, a D+, and just edit those and make sure I have everything sourced and cited, making sure that I cover as much of the rubric as possible so I know that I pretty much have a guaranteed good grade, at least a decent grade, because everything got straight A's except for those two parts, the B+ and the D+. That D+ really hit, but I realized, why I got that D+. And so, yeah, I made the changes after I took that little break, and I just did it again, and I gotta complete it. But yeah, like technological glitches, try to cash my school check at Walmart. Obviously, they couldn't do it. Went to Food Lion, they couldn't do it. And I just happened to look up yesterday a way to, have somebody with a bank account cash it for me. In this case, yesterday, Mom asked me, she was like, not trying to get all your business, but how much did you get back from school? And so she was asking me for a favor, from Walmart. And I told her. And, she's going to, I guess, whenever it's time, we're going to get the check cashed. Because I'm like, I had to go to Walmart anyway to get my phone back on for the rest of the year. I just don't want to deal with it. But it was just the fact, like, if I try to force things myself, it's a lot harder rather than just letting things go as they need to. And so, I know a quote earlier today. I think I seen it briefly yesterday. But a quote today that I saw from this YouTube channel called Charlie Follows. Like, she made a post saying that, you can't rush what your body is learning to trust. And so I'm like looking at my own journey, like waking up early, getting our physical workout stuff in, doing our normal routine. It's like I feel like it's getting easier to wake up. It's like my body is like getting used to it, to the point where it's like I'm wide awake now. Yeah, I kind of still doze a little bit if I get too comfy, but ultimately I noticed that even the workouts, the exercises, they're getting easier. So I'm just trying to focus on the progression, because, looking at somebody else who already got it, who's already an expert or whatever the case may be, it's like I don't want to wish to be in their shoes, because I'm like, you never know what that person had to go through in order to get there. Like using Charlie's Follows YouTube channel, for example. I can't wish for her life, because I'm like, you never know what she had to go through in order to use yoga as a way to, find that peace within herself, to where she seems very calm, collected, very balanced. But who knows what path led her up to that point. And so that's why I'm like looking at even I'm not gonna say his name up here, but that individual who appears to be, abundant, happy, or, successful, wealthy, successful, got all the material abundance that he, could desire, all the money could ever ask, or more money than he know what to do with. It's like we only hearing bits and pieces of what he went through in order to get to that point. It's most of the time the people who are successful, it's like they go through the shittiest journeys, meaning like the most difficult. I mean, the most difficult journeys. And I'm like, I feel that, the most difficult part for my life is over. I feel like it definitely is, because I was thinking back to a good friend of mine back at my old job. He said, I should start doing yoga, because I was complaining about my back then. And he said, yeah, you start doing yoga and all this stuff. And I look back on it, I'm like, man, him introducing me to that again, it was like it was like a way to try to get my body like feeling safe again. Because I remember years back with another former co-worker from a previous job before that, we did a one session of yoga, and it was like, yeah, it was in attempts to for my body to, trust me. And I noticed that. Try not to overly push, try not to overly do things, because, my body is learning how to trust me in order to cooperate and do whatever workout or whatever task. So it's just, it's just a matter of like, just trusting it. And even intimately during sex, it's like, I haven't been able to feel pleasure in that way because my body did not feel safe. Even my own mother, she has a big envy towards skinny women. And being that, I'm one of them. And she said, how she was glad that I was eating. Because, she said I look like skin and bones. And I'm like, well, I've always been little, like skinny or slim. I've always been slim. That hasn't changed, because she only eats like barely once a day. And I was telling her, say like, Mom, you gotta eat. She's like, that's the way I've always been. I'm like, well, this is the way I've always been. Always been skinny, always been slim. I've never been fat or, overweight in that way, except for, when I was pregnant and had to gain pounds for the baby. But it's just the fact that she is very envious of skinny women because she feels she don't like her body. She don't like the way she looks. She don't like the way she feels in her body. And so I'm like, well, say nobody can't force you to work out. Nobody can't force you to stretch. Nobody can't force you to eat better. Because as soon as she said all those things, and Grandma R, Dad handed the phone to Mom, and Grandma R was telling Mom, the boy just don't feed it. And Mom had gout in her foot, and but it was just, Grandma was saying, like, as long as you keep feeding it, it's gonna stay. So I don't think that just meant with food, because Mom ended up eating fried chicken. She ended up eating fried chicken, French fries last night, and I'm like, well, because your mom came out and said she gonna eat what she want, but she gonna eat it sparingly. Well, like, okay, that's you. Anyway, it's just like looking at it all around me, like, not feeding my energy into the nonsense of the world. This is why, like, when people in my family talk negative, it's like I find myself, especially lately, I find myself excusing myself from the room or wherever we at, or I'll turn on something loud to where I can't hear the conversation of, people talking shit about each other or talking shit about other people. I'm just not interested in that. And I'll block it out. It's just like I don't want to keep re-manifesting the same thing over and over again that I don't want to experience. So why do it? But a lot of things have been changing. A lot of things have been changing. A lot of things have been going on. But ultimately, I'm okay. Everything's all right. Just had to learn how to chill, sit on my hands and just trust it. Oh, yeah. I guess that's the update for this week. Try to combine everything. Thankfully, my period's over with. I got the kids this weekend. My nephews, my sister's sons are here too. Just for last night until today. And she comes to pick them up later on. But yeah, it's just a real chill weekend. Nothing too crazy going on. And just trusting the process. So, with that being said, I think I feel complete right now. That's what I want to say, because I don't feel like there's anything else important coming up right now. I keep seeing moving trucks, so I don't know. I can't force it. Just let it happen. Yeah, and just let it ride out. But, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I'll come back next week. Peace.